Hey guys, we are here at the Plains Art Museum in Fargo, North Dakota for their monthly Kid Quest event, where today we are going to combine science and art. Let's head inside. Plains Art holds Kid Quest on the first Saturday of the month, so families can experience art from the museum's collection and then make their own art in the studio. Each month has a different theme, and this time my lab partnered with the museum to develop activities related to face pareidolia, the tendency to see faces in non-face patterns. I decided to start by checking with the staff to see what the plan was for the day.
Hi, so I'm Chelsea Steffes. I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator here at Plains Art Museum. I am one of the co-leaders for Kid Quest. I write the guide, I write the museum activities, and right now we have a whole bunch of kids doing a whole bunch of activities as they practice looking at art in different ways and write about it on their guide.
Awesome. So excited to be here, Chelsea. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
I got myself equipped with a guide to the afternoon's activities and started off on my first quest in the landfill atrium. That's where I found John, one of the museum's volunteers, who gave me the rundown of what we were doing at our first stop.
And we asked kids to take these kaleidoscopes or these colored panels. They can look at each artwork through them, and then they can draw what they see on their little clipboards there. So it's an introduction into different perspectives and seeing things differently in the world.
All right. Excellent. Thank you very much. Can I take one of those kaleidoscopes real quick?
Sure.
The kaleidoscopes were actually awesome. So looking at the different paintings through the kaleidoscope gave you this amazing view of the painting sort of cut up into these different slats, and as you slid it back and forth, it almost looked like these still images were sort of animated. So it was a ton of fun moving from one picture to the other to kind of see how breaking these images apart and putting them back together by moving side to side turned these works of art into something completely different. Quest 1, mission accomplished. For our next quest, we were heading up to the second floor to the Excel Energy Gallery to check out the Scholastic Art and Writing Award submissions and Paige Holatz's sculpture, Lucid Dream. Once we got up there, our job was to examine the sculpture closely and a few other photographs at the quest station to look for hidden patterns, like face pareidolia, emerging from the different pieces on display. The sculpture itself was definitely striking, and very much worth looking at from a bunch of different angles. Once I'd considered it thoroughly, I went over to the Stop 2 table to check out a bunch of different kinds of pareidolia and pictures of clouds. How and why you sometimes see things like these in random textures and shapes is something my lab is doing a lot of research about these days, which is why we were very excited to be part of today's event. My next stop was the Starion Bank Gallery, where I'd find Alicia House exhibition Homing, Radical Remembering. Besides seeing some beautiful abstract artwork, I was apparently also going to get to play with some color tiles, whatever those are, to make abstract patterns of my own. So, across the skyway I went, where I found Sydney, another museum volunteer who gave me the scoop on what to look for here at Stop 3.
Yes, so today at Stop 3 we're going to be doing a couple different activities. So the first activity we have the kids doing is taking a look at these tiles. They're using these to kind of move the colors around.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then based off of that, they can kind of tell me if they see any faces, shapes, whatever they want, really.
Yeah.
And then they can take a colored pencil and create their interpretation on the piece of paper that they got when they walked in. And then the piece of artwork that we're focusing on is actually at the very end of this exhibit, but we're having the kids just take a look at it and then give us their interpretation of what they see and maybe some hidden images that they see within it.
Fantastic. We're going to check that out. Thank you so much.
Of course. Have a good night.
I was really enjoying all the artwork on display in the gallery, but I was especially taken with this display of the different natural pigments that the artist used to create these pieces and her notes about experimenting with them. I saw a bunch of natural dyes and pigments I was familiar with, but there was also a lot of stuff in here I hadn't ever thought of as something you could use to paint with. Avocado pit? I just throw those things out. I also found a great pareidolic face that was not on the official list. But this is absolutely a portrait of a very serious individual. I also found out what the color tiles were. These turned out to be these neat squares with liquid suspended underneath the transparent plate, so you could sort of smoosh it around with a press or just use your fingers to make abstract textures. Just the thing for discovering patterns and randomness. I decided to wrap up by inspecting the painting my guidebook told me I was here to see, looking for any hidden objects I could spot in the swirls of paint. Let's get a little closer, because I feel like there's a secret frog down here in the dirt. I'm looking at you, buddy, right there. My final destination for the afternoon was the Center for Creativity, which was where I'd find the studio activity for the day. A short trip down the elevator later, and I found some familiar faces from the lab hanging out in the lobby, possibly up to no good. Meet Toa and Emily, our intrepid Child Development Lab staff members who were here with a short warm-up activity that my lab is using to find out how kids and adults see faces in random patterns. In this task, your job is super simple. Turn these tea stains into some faces. Let's give it a go. My lab uses simple activities like this to measure how kids and adults organize what they see. These drawings often look funny, but for us, they're useful data about how your vision works. With my science experiment done, it was time to head for the studio and see about making some art inspired by face pareidolia.
Making some art today. We are drawing some lines, adding some color, looking for faces, and then putting everything in a beautiful frame to take home with us.
Listen, I can't claim to be the world's best artist or anything, but that's not what KidQuest is about. The idea is really to play with art and learn different ways to think about what you see. All the things I saw today gave me the chance to do just that, and I'm really glad we were able to add some science to the mix this afternoon. I also got a pretty cool painting out of the deal.
And that was KidQuest at the Plains Art Museum. A little bit of science, a little bit of art, and a whole lot of fun.